Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. A beast of machine, getting on you with speed, running gasoline lean. Give me all what I need, indeed. Pedal to the metals, the life that I dream. Can't settle for tea kettle when I can roast it like coffee bean. My chances waiting to see, smoking supreme. A rough race leaves enough traceless, smoking with steam. Spinning wheels, hitting deals with high velocity. Break the rules of physics to win, become an odyssey. Might be second place, but I'm riding behind. Set to draft, fly by, feel the G-force, adjust, get the better lap. My tires may be bold, riding a weather track, but I've left my checker pass so I can reach the checkered flag.
Another edition of the Checkered Flag. We got somebody on the screen here. We're going to talk about him in just a moment, but I've got some things to talk about. We're going to take a little bit of a break from NASCAR talk tonight because we're going dirt tonight with racing. Check this out. For immediate release, July 27, 2015, Troy Hennig, he'll be on the show. Northern California, the most high consecutive nights of open-wheel grassroots dirt track racing featuring the most drivers and respected well-known auto racing sanctioned bodies and drivers in the world. Saturday, September 5th at Calistoga Speedway, it all kicks off. Goes to September 12th. We're talking 8 days starting the 8th of August in Chico, California. The Golden State 8 would cater to each and every fan of sprint car, both winged and non-winged, midget racing and outlaw go-karts. So that's going to be really exciting. The promoters have realized that joining forces to combine each event into a Speed Week style format should attract not only the fans but race friends from all over the world who can now plan a trip and see much diverse racing. We're going to talk a little bit later tonight with the King of the West director, Gary Thomas. That was actually said by Gary Thomas. It was written by Troy Hennig, and we're going to talk to Troy Hennig later tonight, Director of Communications for Marysville Raceway Park. Also tonight, we've got Shayna Sylvia on the show. First time ever for a female to win in a Petaluma in a spec sprint. Big congratulations to her. Huge monumental thing for her. Also tonight, we've got Outlaw Kart racer John Paul. How do you pronounce Iness? Is it Iness? Iness, John Paul Iness. Okay, I wanted to make sure I got that right. We're going to have him in just a moment, but before that, we have to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back in just a few moments, folks, with our first guest of the evening. This portion of the Checkered Flag is brought to you by Cosman Tower Shop, the Dominator Series. They take their engines to the extreme with countless hours of studying to make more horsepower. Get all your parts prepped right here to make us your one-stop kart shop. Get your engine today or get beat by one. That's Cosman Power Shop Dominator Series, located in Pryor, Oklahoma, 918-864-0985. That's 918-864-0985. Check us out on Facebook at KOSMAN Power Shop.
Saturday, August 1st from 10 to 2 p.m. in Clear Lakes, Austin Park. Lake Community Pride Foundation presents the 5th Annual Power to the Youth. Bouncy houses, live music, basketball tournament, skate park competition, flag football, wiffle ball, pony rides, youth car show, local agency booths, and more. Free admission to the public. For more information, contact Bruno Sabatier at 707-695-0834. Come on now, check it out. Here's an offer you can't refuse. Everybody's down to play, no delay, bound to bust a move. Some for all of you. So much from which to choose. Can't go wrong. Skate the ramp.
King of the West 410 Sprint Car Series at Hunt Magneto's wingless sprints invade the Stockton Dirt Track on Saturday, August 1st. Front gate opens at 5 p.m., racing at 7 p.m. Don't miss California's best at the San Joaquin County Fairgrounds. Info at StocktonDirtTrack.com. For the first time ever, the King of the Wing Super Sprint Car Series invades the Stockton 99 Speedway on Saturday, August 8th. Front gate opens at 4 p.m., racing at 6 p.m. Don't miss the debut of the blazing fast Wing Pavement Sprint Series. Info at StockTon99.com.
Catch the Checkered Flag Show every Tuesday night at 7, 9 Central on the GoLivestream.tv network. Hosted by myself, Ace Naylor.
See our website at checkerflagshow.com.
On via Skype right now, John Paul Iness, nickname, that's his nickname, JP is his nickname actually. 14 years old, started racing at the age of 13 in the animal division, has 2 to 3 main event wins under his belt, moved up to a 125 class this year and already has 1 win under his belt with the 125 class. Thanks for being on the show, man. I appreciate you being here.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about how you're racing and how all this began for you.
Well, Mark, he built the track, could get in it, and he said no. But I raced in 2 weeks. I raced 2 weeks later.
Right on. So you've been hooked ever since. That was your first time there, and ever since you got hooked, then, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about your animal kart division, because there was a couple of fan questions that wanted to know, when I had put it out on Facebook that you were an animal. They wanted to know what an animal kart was.
It's a modified Briggs and Stratton. Runs on alcohol.
Oh, so does it burns alcohol? You said non-alcohol. It burns on alcohol.
Do what?
Does it burn? You said it burns on alcohol, or doesn't burn on alcohol?
It runs on alcohol.
Wow, that's how fast does something like that go?
35 to 40 miles an hour.
That's pretty quick for an animal kart. You know, animal karts, folks. If you don't know, I've seen them. They're very similar to the open kart. They're open wheel karts. It's open cockpit, right, from your waist up.
No, it's a cage kart.
Oh, it is a cage. Animal kart is a cage kart. I stand corrected. So an animal kart's a cage kart. Now you have three main event wins in your animal already. Tell us about that.
It was a battle. Machine every race.
It was so you had quite a battle going on, right, between that race, between every race you said. So about three. There was three main event wins. That's something to be very proud of, man. Do you remember anything? Do you remember anything about that race and how you got up to the lead and all that stuff? How many cars were there? Maybe you can walk us through it a little bit.
Well, it was only me and Jacob.
Oh, okay. But still, I mean, that's quite something else. You did have somebody. You did have somebody to fight against. How was it racing against Jacob?
Well, he's really good. He's been racing for 4 years.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know. I just
guess he wasn't an easy catch. And let's talk about your move up. You moved up to 125 class. Let's talk about your one. Tell us about your on your 125. Give us the details on your 125 kart. What kind of kart it is? What kind of engine does it run? How fast does it go? I think we've got pictures of his karts up there somewhere. Tell us about your 125 kart class. Can you give us any details on that?
It runs on a 2-stroke 125 motor, and it's in a cage kart.
Oh, it's also another cage kart. So you pretty went from cage kart to cage kart. Now, was there any difference? Did it feel any different to go from an animal to a 125? Was there any difference in the karts?
Yes, the 125 it's a lot faster and it has more horsepower, and the chassis is different.
Right. And you have family that race also. You got Jacob. Tell us about you have Jacob, Justice, and Kendall. Tell us about them. You got family that also race?
Yes, sir. Jacob, he's just kind of my racing partner. He's been racing for about 4 years.
Right.
Justice, Kendall started right after I started racing. He started out in a straight rail open kart. Now he's racing a Junior 3.
Uh-huh.
He's got a few wins.
Wow.
Justice, he started out racing after Kendall, and he's in adult clone.
Wow, that's pretty
open
cool.
Modified.
So you got a family affair thing going on with racing. That's pretty cool. How is it racing? How is it? You racing? How is it racing against your own family? How does that feel?
Well, I don't really race.
You
I don't
don't?
really race against my brothers.
Yeah.
I race against Jacob mostly.
Yeah.
But I'm in a cage kart and they're in open flat karts.
Right.
So they race against each other, but I only race against Jacob.
Yeah. Now something else you did that's pretty unique is you've ventured into quad racing also. I noticed that. Do you race quads?
No, that's my brother Justice.
Oh, that's your brother race quads. All right. So you are you think about maybe getting into quads yourself, or just kind of sticking to outlaw karts and the cage kart racing?
I'm just gonna stick to cage karts.
Right. Let's talk about the Texas Kart Nationals, man. Tell us about the Texas Kart Nationals. I'm going to let you give us a lowdown on that, because that's a pretty exciting thing that went down for you there.
Yeah. I was in second for the most part. When I came around turn 2, I passed Jacob. He was in first.
And you took the win, and so you took the win there at the Texas Kart Nationals, man. That's pretty exciting. Let's see. Kendall is third at the tumble. So let's talk about the Tumbleweed Speedway. Actually, I'm coming off my notes here. The Tumbleweed Speedway, is that where you primarily race right now? Is Tumbleweed?
Yes,
that your
sir.
home track?
That's where I started racing.
Okay, sweet. And it looks like the entire team is having a good year this year. Because Kendall, I seen that Kendall was running has ran third. So looks like your entire team your family's having a good year this year.
Yes, sir.
Yes, right on, man. And then we've got a picture of you actually. No, actually, I don't think we do have. But I did see a picture of you working on your cart. So you get in there and work on your cart sometimes yourself? You get in there and work on the engine and all that, or?
Yes, sir. I try to help my dad as much as I can.
Right. So let's talk about get onto something here. Skiing racing. Tell us about skiing racing.
It's it's team skiing. It's Mark Skiing sponsored all of our stuff.
Yeah.
A bunch of it.
And he's a big part of he's a big part of what keeps your racing team going, huh? Because I know sponsors are pretty important.
He's the one who introduced me to racing.
Yeah. Well, right on, man. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. I want to give you the chance to give your sponsors and shout-outs and some thanks and all that stuff before we let you go. I wish we could have you on longer.
Skiing Diesel, and I want to shout out to CR Picks for giving me a sticker and taking my pictures.
Right on. We're gonna have to talk. We're gonna have to get Jacob, Justice, and Kendall on. Now you got me all interested about your team. So we're gonna have to get them on at some point. But thank you so much for being on the show, man. I really appreciate it. We're gonna let you go now. We got to get to a commercial break before we get to our next guest here in just a few moments.
Yes, sir.
All right.
This portion of the Checkered Flag is brought to you by Cosman Tower Shop, the Dominator Series. They take their engines to the extreme with countless hours of studying to make more horsepower. Get all your parts prepped right here to make us your one-stop kart shop. Get your engine today or get beat by one. That's Cosman Tower Shop Dominator Series, located in Pryor, Oklahoma, 918-864-0985. That's 918-864-0985. Check us out on Facebook at KOSMAN Tower Shop.
Saturday, August 1st from 10 to 2 p.m. in Clear Lakes, Austin Park. Lake Community Pride Foundation presents the 5th Annual Power to the Youth. Bouncy houses, live music, basketball tournament, skate park competition, flag football, wiffle ball, pony rides, youth car show, local agency booths, and more. Free admission to the public. For more information, contact Bruno Sabatier at 707-695-0834. Come on now, check it out. Here's an offer you can't refuse. Everybody's down to play, no delay, bound to bust a move. Some for all of you. So much from which to choose. Can't go wrong. Skate the ramp.
King of the West 410 Sprint Car Series at Hunt Magneto's Wingless Sprints invade the Stockton Dirt Track on Saturday, August 1st. Front gate opens at 5 p.m., racing at 7 p.m. Don't miss California's best at the San Joaquin County Fairgrounds. Info at StocktonDirtTrack.com. For the first time ever, the King of the Wing Super Sprint Car Series invades the Stockton 99 Speedway on Saturday, August 8th. Front gate opens at 4 p.m., racing at 6 p.m. Don't miss the debut of the blazing fast Wing Pavement Sprint Series. Info at StockTon99.com.
Catch the Checkered Flag Show every Tuesday night at 7, 9 Central on the GoLivestream.tv network. Hosted by myself, Ace Naylor.
See our website at checkerflagshow.com.
All right, we've got on the line right now, we've got King of the West's own Gary Thomas. Gary's going to recap the Peter Murphy Classic and talk to us about Golden State 8. How you doing, man?
Doing fine, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, this is actually I like to say that this is your second time. You're a second-time champion here. I like to call it champion. You're second-time champion here at, or third, I believe, with the checkered flag. But each time you come on, you got something new and exciting to talk about. And you're going to go ahead and recap the Peter Murphy Classic that happened this past weekend.
Yeah, the first time I was on there, I think, was about 5-6 years ago, and I always loved being on. But we had a great weekend. Last Saturday, the Peter Murphy Classic in Tulare was our richest one-night event of the year. 11,000 to win, 1,000 to start our main event. And Peter Murphy, who was a former King of the West driver, sprint car driver, was injured a few years ago. And,
yes.
Had to retire from the sport, so he put this event on, and it raised a lot of money, a lot of contingency prizes, and a little bit of fun things going on. Kind of that little Australian flair. We had Wade Onger from down at Outlaw Kart Race Way in Australia come over and shared some of the announcing duties with myself and Bobby Gerald. But we had a great time.
Wow.
Great racing, huge crowd. So it was a home run by every means.
Yeah, sounds really exciting. I want to talk about you got some upcoming things too. Golden State 8. Tell us about that. And it's going to be the first annual. Am I understanding it's the first annual?
Yeah, I guess it's kind of the first annual. It's kind of a 2-week run that's been around, for a long time. With Labor Day weekend, it's a tradition to go to Calistoga, and then the following week we always have the Gold Cup Race of Champions. So that's always been a big deal. But this year's a little different because, the United States Auto Club is joining in a little bit. Monday night they have an event in Petaluma with the CRA 410 series, which is going to be really exciting. Excited to go over there and check out Ron Lingler, our buddy. At Petaluma, and then Tuesday we have the Kyle Larson Outlaw Kart Showcase in Michaeland.
Ooh, I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, it's going to be big with the Kyle Larson. But I want to talk about the Golden State. Let's talk about Golden State real quick. These payouts are enormous. $300,000 will be awarded to the teams in prize money.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of money up for grabs.
Yeah.
Like I say, the Calistoga weekend, the Louisville Classic has been just one of the huge events each year. A lot of money up for the non-wing sprints, the midgets. A lot of money up for the Outlaw Kart Showcase at Cycleland that Kyle's putting on. And
yeah.
The Gold Cup Race of Champions, it doesn't get bigger in the Western United States than the Gold Cup.
Right. Now, you have something coming up at Stockton 99 that's actually very unique, and we played the ad for it. It's going to be sprint cars on pavement. Did I see that correctly?
Yeah. It's funny. The next 2 weeks at Stockton, we have this coming weekend at Stockton Dirt Track. We have our King of the West Wings 410s, which of course is our dirt series. And then the following week on August 8th, it's going to be the King of the Wing Western
King of the Wing
series for the first time at 99 Speedway, which of course is the asphalt track. So a couple of great series coming to town.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'd like to maybe get out to one of those. We're gonna have the great Troy Hennig on a little bit later. I was hoping we would have the other announcer on, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about dirt track racing and where it's going and everything. I'm noticing that it seems to me, now this could be just my perception, but I go to a paved track. And I go to dirt track, and I see way bigger fan base at a dirt track than I do a paved track.
Yeah, I've been a dirt track guy my whole life, and it's definitely, I don't want to sound like I'm bragging anything.
Me neither. Yeah.
Track racing is a lot more exciting for me personally than the pavement stuff. I like seeing guys slide around the corners.
Yeah, the drifting. The drifting the whole bit. Yeah, I was just talking to the top. Yeah, we're gonna have her on. I'm so proud of Shayna Sylvia. I mean, man, I got goosebumps talking about it. For her, just what a lot of barriers that she broke, with becoming the first female to ever win in a spec sprint.
Yeah, and the spec sprint, they've really come along this year. That's a great class.
Yes,
and,
it is.
The guys I work for, John Prentice runs the Joe Hunt series with the Ringo spec sprints, and I've had the opportunity to announce the last few shows for them, and again this Saturday in Stockton. Man, that's been a great little series. I'll tell you, the wingless sprints put on a heck of a show. It's been a great combo show with the King of the West 410. The KWS and the Hunt series has been one of the best shows you can see in all of California this year.
I was going to say that. You hit the nail on the head. I'm noticing that the wingless series is creating a lot of hysteria. A lot of people are really excited to get out there and see the wingless racing.
Yeah, it really has been. And, they kind of made their debut this year at Calistoga.
Yeah.
So they, of course, have the USAC series, the 410s on Labor Day, but this year was the first time spec sprints drove at Calistoga, and we were all kind of critical how it would work out. We didn't know what to expect, but it's been a great show both times at Calistoga and Stockton this weekend. They've been there earlier this year and last year, and they're just a treat to watch.
Yeah, what do you think of the 600 micro sprints?
Yeah, those are exciting too.
Yeah.
I don't get to see them a lot, but they're a huge breeding ground. A lot of our drivers with the King of the West Series are from the Central Valley. And,
Yeah.
guys like Carson Macedo and Dominic Selzy and Mitchell Pacento, they've all come out of the micro ranks, and it's a great breeding ground.
Yeah. It definitely is a great breeding ground for that kind of racing. Now, let's talk about, you have some other things going on. Now, I've had some fan questions, actually, and I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but you said this before. I had some fans ask me on Facebook what KWS was. I had it just abbreviated, so you can explain KWS.
Yeah, basically KWS is what originally started out as the Golden State Challenge Series, which began in 1986. The California Promoter started it as a series, kind of like with the Northern Auto Racing Club, which ran from 1960 to the year 2000,
Yes.
the latest bandit.
Yeah.
But my boss, Dan Simpson, who I worked for 5, 6 years ago, took over the Golden State Challenge Series and renamed it King of the West.
Right.
And of course, KWS is our abbreviation. So this is actually our 30th year of racing. We took, all the archives and records from the Golden State Challenge Series to the King of the West Series. So this is kind of a historic year for us. And guy leading our points, Bud Kading, his dad, Brent, his brother Tim, has won the series championship.
Yes.
And Bud has yet to do it. So I know that's something he wants to get under his belt this year.
Yeah, we had the Kadings on here a while back. We had the Kadings on here, and great family, and talk about history and racing with those two. I want to talk about the AMSOIL CRA, the USAC non-wing sprint cars. No, that's gonna be running both nights. This is your time to shine. Let us know everything's going on for the 8th annual Louis Vermeil Classic.
Yeah, they run both nights there at Calistoga. That's the big Labor Day show. We don't get to see them up north very often, so it's pretty unique when they come.
Yeah.
They run both nights there, and the USAC midgets, the Western midgets are there, and that's just it. And like I said, it's becoming one of the events that is a must-see. Huge crowds every year. They do a lot of special events like wine tasting and beer tasting and a car show, and it really is a weekend of history. I mean, non-wing racing in Calistoga dates back many moons ago, long before I was around.
Yeah.
And it's a great show for people to check out.
Yeah, and before I was around too, and then of course we touched on it a little bit, but a little bit more on the future for the 150 drivers. Now that's the highest paid event actually that Carl Larson will be on over there at Cycleland, and he'll be the special guest to be named. They said a special guest will be named later, but Kyle Larson's going to be there.
Yeah, if you've never seen Outlaw Kart at Cycleland, I mean, that's an event you got to check out.
Yeah, I have. Those
awesome.
Talk about breeding grounds for bigger racing. That's a good that and the Dixon. They're good breeding grounds for sprint cars. But what I like about Cycleland is how they go 4 wide. They get top speeds. They really those kids really get a grasp and training on how a dirt car works over there at Cycleland.
They really do. And there's a lot of young kids that are getting ready to get sprint cars. Another one, Brian Robinson, he's 14.
Yes.
He just got into a sprint car. He came down to Tulare last week at the Peter Murphy Classic and made the main event. And I'll tell you what, he made a lot of fans. I mean, 14 years old, he drove the top side of that track like a true veteran.
He did it like a champ, didn't he? Yes, and it's good to watch people, kids like him come out of Outlaw Karts. Michael, Buddy Kofoid being one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing those kids, I worked with them when they raced Outlaw Karts. Luckily, unfortunately, I didn't get to for Kyle Larson, but seeing them like Kyle Larson and then move up, from Outlaw Karts to where they're at now. I mean, these kids are just amazing to me.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, they really are the top. Like I say, the top. It seems like if you're down in the Central Valley, you're running the micro sprint.
Yes.
From up, the Sacramento Chico area, you're in an Outlaw Kart. So both are great breeding grounds, and half our drivers seem like they come from the micro rinks and half come from the Outlaw Karts.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, anything else you'd like to plug before we let you go? I wish we could have you on longer, but we've got breaks and we've got some other guests here, including we have Shayna Sylvia on a little later to talk about her win.
Right on. Yeah, it's been an exciting season so far. A lot of great racing to come, and I just want to kind of send out my get well messages to Dominic Selzy. He was in a little bit of an accident in Tulare on Saturday, and he's having a little bit of back troubles right now. So don't know if we'll be seeing him, in the future events with the King of the West Series. And He's a great kid, great family.
Yeah.
And we want him to heal up as fast as possible.
Well, they have our prayers for quick healing here at the Checkered Flag as well.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, hey, thank you so much for calling in, man. Oh, real quick, totally forgot to ask you this, and some of the fans actually were wanting to know, they were wanting to know about KWS tonight. Are you going to ever try to get that back off the ground? That was a good show you guys had going on there.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun back in the day. My buddy George Davis kind of ran King of the West series for our boss Dan Simpson, and we had a lot of fun doing that show.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one day, but we're lucky to have Dean Mills as our highlight, specialist this year. A lot of great highlight packages. Check out our Facebook, King of the West Friends, and you can also find out more about our series, racetng.com, all the news and schedule info.
Sweet, and we'll have to have you maybe in here to do to co-host with us at one time, and we'll have to get some of those names we talked about out here to the show. I'd love to have you co-host.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Maybe get I'd say Troy Hennig and Ron Langren. I know he'd love to come. Bill Sullivan, another guy. A lot of great announcers in California. It really is, and maybe we can come on after the Golden State Aces. It'd be great to recap that.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, man. Thank you so much for calling. All right.
All right, thanks.
All right.
For having me.
Bye-bye. All right. Always good to hear from him. We're going to take another break, and we're going to be right back here in just a little bit we're going to call it from one announcer to the next. I'm going to be on the line with, let's see, get him here, we had Gary Thomas, with Troy Hennig here in just a little bit. And after that, we're going to hear from Shayna Sylvia, so I'm real excited about that. We'll be back in a few moments, folks.
This portion of the Checkered Flag is brought to you by Cosman Tower Shop, the Dominator series. They take their engines to the extreme with countless hours of studying to make more horsepower. Get all your parts prepped right here to make us your one-stop kart shop. Get your engine today or get beat by one. That's Cosman Tower Shop Dominator series, located in Pryor, Oklahoma, 918-864-0985. That's 918-864-0985. Check us out on Facebook at KOSMAN Tower Shop.
Saturday, August 1st from 10 to 2 p.m. in Clear Lakes, Austin Park. Lake Community Pride Foundation presents the 5th Annual Power to the Youth. Bouncy houses, live music, basketball tournament, skate park competition, flag football, wiffle ball, pony rides, youth car show, local agency booths, and more. Free admission to the public. For more information, contact Bruno Sabatier at 707-695-0834. Come on now, check it out. Here's an offer you can't refuse. Everybody's down to play, no delay, bound to bust a move. Some for all of you. So much from which to choose. Can't go wrong. Skate the ramp.
King of the West 410 Sprint Car Series at Hunt Magneto's wingless sprints invade the Stockton Dirt Track on Saturday, August 1st. Front gate opens at 5 p.m., racing at 7 p.m. Don't miss California's best at the San Joaquin County Fairgrounds. Info at StocktonDirtTrack.com. For the first time ever, the King of the Wing Super Sprint Car Series invades the Stockton 99 Speedway on Saturday, August 8th. Front gate opens at 4 p.m., racing at 6 p.m. Don't miss the debut of the blazing fast Wing Pavement Sprint Series. Info at Stockton99.com.
Catch the Checkered Flag Show every Tuesday night at 7, 9 Central on the GoLivestream.tv network. Hosted by myself, Ace Naylor.
See our website at checkerflagshow.com.
All right, we're back, and we've got on the line right now a fellow announcer. Troy Hennig is on the line, Director of Communications at Marysville Race Way Park. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, Nate. How are you doing, man? I appreciate your time and hope all is well with you.
Hey, everything's great with me. I just had a great talk with King of the West series, Gary Thomas, and a little later we're gonna have Shayna Sylvia on. I'm so proud of her. Shayna Sylvia becoming the first woman ever to win in a spec sprint at Petaluma Speedway. We're gonna have her on after you. But
yeah, you know, at Petaluma, Ron Lindgren is one of the guys that turned me on to your show. He's one of the first guys, and then PJ Peterson too, at Peterson Media. But I know Ron was very excited for her to get that win. In fact, he texted me that night just to let me know how exciting that was for him.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, the minute I found out, I texted her online right away. I says, I said, girl, we got to get you on the show. Sure. Because we had her on when she won her first heat race, and then, I knew before too long she'd be getting those main event wins. Girls like her, they know how to race like that. And what a lot of barriers she broke as well for, taking that win. A lot of barriers she broke for women in spec sprint.
Well, Ron does a good job at Petaluma pumping up the girls that are there. And, he's always told me about her and, what he thought of her as a driver. Of course, he has Alyssa Gibby down there who's won, 3 championships in the sprint car division. But I know he's real keen of her and her accomplishments in the non-wing sprint car.
Right, yeah, that's pretty exciting. And it was just exciting to hear what she's doing. Now, let's get into about you now. I want to get to know you a little more. How did you get started in announcing?
Well, I went to Chico State, and I wasn't smart enough to get a real job with my degree from communications, so I decided, and I love sprint car racing, and Silver Dollar Speedway in Chico had an opening, and I knew the announcer who was leaving, and his name's Dennis Gage, and Dennis left Chico in 1999, and then that's when I started. I actually started at Silver Dollar Speedway. I'm still there. I've been there 16 years in a row. Wow. And this was my first year of taking over Marysville. And the funny thing is I took over for Dennis Gage, the announcer at Silver Dollar at the time, and now he's the promoter of Chico and Marysville, so now he's my boss.
Isn't that strange how that works out?
The best part of it, though, is he doesn't dabble in my announcing. So even though he's well known as an announcer himself back in the 80s and 90s, he kind of lets me do my own thing. So he gives me a lot of rope to hang myself sometimes with, because sometimes my antics go a little bit over the top. But that's all right. I have a good time with it, man. And I love that you announce. Here's what I think. I love to interview people that, where did you get your start? I've been watching a lot of the shows. I don't know much about you.
Well, mine was similar. My situation is similar to yours. I'm a U.S. and world history major, and of course didn't do anything with that. I'm a historian.
Sure.
So I got out of the university, and it was too dumb to get a real job, so I became an announcer. I decided to start using my voice. Yeah.
How long have you been doing it?
I've only been doing it since 2005. I'm still kind of wet behind the ears with it. Maybe about 10 years now, off and on. I took a step back. From over at announcing where I was over at Dixon and other areas. I was getting pretty big with it, but I decided the show really needed my attention. It's especially with our viewerships and the kids that were pushing on the show. I realized that I need to be here, so I need to put my attention here. But I started out in radio. Started out in radio. That's how I became an announcer. David Furia discovered me. I don't know if you know David Furia.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's out here at Lakeport. Yeah, he came in. I don't know if you've seen my Facebook. It's not something I toot my horn about, but I was a professional wrestling announcer before, and he had heard me and pulled me aside and said, "Hey, we need somebody to announce for the racetrack." And at the time, the track announcer at Lakeport was leaving, so that's just how I ended up. It's just kind of got thrown in my lap, really.
Yeah, it's the same with me. When Dennis Gage wanted to step away, it was time. He'd been at the racetrack every weekend for 15, 20 years himself, and it was time to spend time with family and his wife. And he was like, "Who's the next guy I could get?" I was 24 at the time, so I was at Chico State. I lived in Chico. Yeah. And it made sense to do the transition, and I was a big fan. I went to every Gold Cup and every race in Chico, and I knew the guys pretty well. So it was a pretty good transition. My mentors are like Bobby Gerald. He was the one I called to get advice from, and Gary Gerald, his dad, who, of course, play-by-play announcer of the Sacramento Kings and on ESPN, and he's just amazing. So I found a lot of good mentors. Yeah. But I also, Bill Sullivan at Placerville Speedway has been doing a little bit longer than me. I think he's about 20 years at Placerville. And Bill is the guy that really likes to help out younger kids. And at the time, he called me up and said, "Hey, I think you'd be a good fit at Chico." And he was the one that gave me a lot of advice and direction, too. So I got to give Bill Sullivan a lot of credit at Placerville. One
guy I really look up to that's been doing it for 50 years is Gary Cressy. Now, he's somebody, I don't hold a candle to him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's funny, all the different generations of guys that do it, we all have our different styles.
Yes.
And, no one's, the guys that are above me, the older gentlemen, I totally look up to them. But it's funny because they have a completely different style than, like, myself and Gary Thomas and Ron Lindgren, because we're all around the same age and probably yourself. But then there's some younger kids, like Bradley Kennedy, who's coming up. He just graduated high school. And he's got his own way to announce, and whether I give him pointers or not, I always try to let him be himself, and whoever, I got a kid named Elijah Jones who helps me now, the voice of Cyclone Speedway.
Yeah.
And I kind of give those guys directions, but I don't want to pigeonhole them, because in no means am I the correct way to announce. I mean, it's not like you go to school for this. You just kind of, you learn how to see your pants, and you kind of push the boundaries on what works and what doesn't work, and, after 16 years, I've got a good basis of what I think works and what doesn't work.
Right, and you mentioned oh man, the young kid you just mentioned. I got a chance to work with him over at Dixon a couple times, and I knew he was definitely on his way to do something. In fact, he was the one that I had fill in for me when I had to focus on the show, and I had I don't know if you know that it's kind of, I could talk about it, it's well known. I had a minor heart attack over at Dixon.
I had no idea. How old were you when this happened?
It was about a year and a half. I was pretty young. I was about 34, 35 when it happened.
Yeah.
I'm in good health now and everything, but I decided to take a step back, and I thought, I'm taking on too much. What's more important to me? I said the checkered flag's more important to me, and so that's why I'm here instead of there now. But Bradley Kennedy filled in for me a few times when I was sick, and he did such a good job over there. And I'm happy for him. I thought he was going to get it over there, but I'm happy that he's over at Cycleland and over working with you guys now. It's kind of taken off. It has kind of taken off for me again. I've been to Texas already. I went to the Texas Outlaw Karts, and
I read that.
Yeah, and got to announce over there. That was a lot of fun. So, yeah, we'll see where it goes. Like I said, I'm kind of focused on the show on the show right now. But
well, you told me. I mean, I think congratulations in order. You hit the 1 million viewer mark, didn't you, this year or last year?
We did in 2014. We hit 1,138,000. We're still averaging. We're still averaging 500,000 right now. The numbers with the website are kind of messed up, so they don't have accurate numbers in the last two shows. But we're averaging 500. We're averaging 500, half a million as our average viewership right now.
I'm telling you what, those are outstanding numbers. That's the top of the food chart as far as I'm concerned, man. I haven't heard those kind of numbers ever. That's great.
I haven't either, and it was surprised. I'm humbly surprised. I didn't know. Yeah. I didn't know until the president, Jeffrey Telcher, called me of Go Livestream and said, "Hey, look at the numbers." There, and he was saying that there's sports network shows that don't even get that kind of viewership. So it's kind of cool, man. It's kind of cool. Like I said, when I started this, it's not for none of this is for me, by the way. This is for the kids. This has all been about the kids and my guests, and the fans, especially the fans.
Well, when I watch the show, which I try to do it almost every week now, the thing that sticks out to me is your commitment and passion to the young kids. And, obviously you're doing it for the right reasons, and that's cool. The kids have to have a voice, and I think, Gary Thomas and myself and other guys, when we announce, we're focusing on, most of our 16 years of age or older.
Yeah.
So we don't get to hit on the younger ones. And you're doing a great job on hitting on those kids. I mean, it's amazing to hear their stories and give them a voice and try to, introduce them to the racing world, which hopefully, Ace, some of them will call you in 10 years and go, hey, I've made, somewhat of a big time, and you were the first guy to give me a shot. I appreciate that.
I've had that happen. I got a chance to talk to James. I had somewhat of a conversation with James Bickford. I got to talk to James. I've had James on the show several times, and I couldn't help it. But when I saw his first win over at K&N NASCAR K&N Pro, I drew a couple tears, man. I did.
Yeah,
I remember that little guy on my show when he was racing his his legend car, and to see what he's doing now is just absolutely amazing. And the same thing with she wasn't only been about a year, but again, having Shayna Sylvia on and then seeing her take her first win, those kind of things help me realize why I'm in this business, to see those kind of things.
100%, and it's good that you took a step back and I think focus on the show, because that's where like I said, I can tell that's where your heart is, and I know you love working with the young kids, and the boys and girls you have on your show, I mean, it's kind of cool because you can tell they're a little bit nervous about it, but you're giving them a great opportunity to get in front of a camera, do a live interview, which Kyle Larson and Rico Avery and those guys have told you. One of the first things, if you make it to NASCAR, they do is they extend you to like a seminar for a day or two, and they coach you how to act and what to say. And now you're exposing these young kids to that at an early age, so maybe they'll be more prepared when they, if they do get to move up the ranks, and hopefully they do. I mean, not everyone can go up the ranks, but hopefully some of them will excel and make a living out of this crazy business you and I are professionals in, the motorsports business. It's not a easy business to crack into. What I mean is there's not a lot of jobs for us. I mean, there's only so many tracks.
Right.
And then once you get the track filled and you get a guy like me that won't leave, I've been at Chico 16 years, it's hard to, so I've been tutoring, younger kids and bringing them along kind of like you do. I mean, and I get a lot of joy.
Yeah, I mean, the other reason let's face it, one reason I decided to step out of announcing is because not only this is where it's at, but I mean, let's face it, a lot of your ex-NASCAR drivers are getting up there with the headset and announcing for mainstream NASCAR nationwide. I don't think humbly I could get up there. They're ex-racers, so I thought, I want to do something that's going to make a difference, and I can stay in the racing business, and like you said, this, and again, I appreciate the kudos because for me the biggest reward is seeing the kids grow and move up. And we just talked about Michael Buddy Kofoid here when I had Gary Thomas on.
Sure.
I've had Michael Kofoid on the show years ago. When I first started this 5 years ago, we had Michael Kofoid on when he was just an outlaw kart. When he was when he was an outlaw kart racer. And now look and see what he's doing, racing in a sprint. So.
Sprint car up there, and he's really good still cycling. I get to announce Cycling once a month, and he's really good there too still. Yeah. Another thing about your show that I love, and it's kind of addicting for me, is the opening song. Who did that? The kind of the rap.
The opening rap song, believe it or not, was actually, I'll put him on the spot. Sorry, Bruno. A good friend of ours who's actually, believe it or not, he's on the city council of Clear Lake, Bruno Sabatier.
Yeah.
And
at first I'm like, I don't know about this, and then dude, after I watch your show, it's like
he absolutely amazed me, man. I'm telling you, he absolutely amazed me with his skills. It was him and another guy that did the mix for him. But he's actually doing a thing now you probably saw on our ads called Power to the Youth. We're doing a big Power to the Youth event. And talk about somebody who's big with the youth. He does a big event called Power to the Youth every year where we have, big jumpy houses and different businesses come out to the park. But he's also on our city council and just loves kids. Just so good with our young people in the youth group, the local youth group. And and I told him I had heard one of his on the ride with him. I'd heard one of his
agency
songs.
booth.
And I says, hey man, I says, can you put something together for me for yeah, sure. Believe it or not, he had that for me slapped out 2 days later. He had that for me slapped out. I did the video and stuff. I did the video and stuff for it. Yeah,
it's very catchy. Tell him good job because it's something that every time the show starts, we're looking forward to, and then you see it, and then it's like the show starts. So that's kind of something that gets us all in the mood to watch the Checkered Flag show. Yeah,
exactly. I got Shayna Sylvia trying to call, and I wish I could have you on longer, but the girl didn't want to talk, so I'm going to let you push some things you got going on. Let's see, September. I already looked at. We'll talk about it again. It's going to be the Golden State West, the number 8. So we'll talk about that again.
Yep, not a problem, man. I'll be available anytime for you. It's been a great show. I love talking with you.
Yeah. I'd love to get you out here live, man, just sitting with me. I told that to Gary, but I'd love to get you guys out here live and talk about it.
Well, I'll tell Gary Thomas to fire up his personal jet. We'll fly down and get him.
I know, right? The jet. I'll have my jet. It says the Checkered Flag Show on the side. I'll have it come pick you up. All right.
I don't disagree, and I don't doubt that you someday will have a jet.
Right.
I want you to be able to get one with your hard work and perseverance.
I'd be happy to fly.
Get it done.
I'd be happy to get that and fly you guys in a helicopter to the racetracks. If you fly you guys in style.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's like NASCAR style there.
Yeah,
all
it is. Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm on board.
All right,
okay,
man.
Cool.
I'll have to let you go. I wish we could talk longer. I really appreciate it, brother. We're going to have to get you on again, okay?
Yeah, we'll invite you up to Chico and Marysville, one of these races too. If you can come up on a Saturday or Friday.
Oh, I'd love to come up and work with you, man. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get you to see what we do up here for fun in the upper end of Northern California. Yep.
Right. Exactly. Hey, brother.
Okay.
Good to hear from you. All right.
Okay. Thanks.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, we got to take a commercial break, and we got to get back with Shayna Sylvia in just a moment.
This portion of the Checkered Flag is brought to you by Cosman Tower Shop, the Dominator Series. They take their engines to the extreme with countless hours of studying to make more horsepower. Get all your parts prepped right here to make us your one-stop kart shop. Get your engine today or get beat by one. That's Cosman Tower Shop Dominator Series, located in Pryor, Oklahoma, 918-864-0985. That's 918-864-0985. Check us out on Facebook at KOSMAN Tower Shop.
Saturday, August 1st from 10 to 2 p.m. in Clear Lakes, Austin Park. Lake Community Pride Foundation presents the 5th Annual Power to the Youth. Bouncy houses, live music, basketball tournament, skate park competition, flag football, wiffle ball, pony rides, youth car show, local agency booths, and more. Free admission to the public. For more information, contact Bruno Sabatier at 707-695-0834. Come on now, check it out. Here's an offer you can't refuse. Everybody's down to play, no delay, bound to bust a move. Some for all of you. So much from which to choose. Can't go wrong. Skate the ramp.
King of the West 410 Sprint Car Series at Hunt Magneto's wingless sprints in Vegas Stockton Dirt Track on Saturday, August 1st. Front gate opens at 5 p.m., racing at 7 p.m. Don't miss California's best at the San Joaquin County Fairgrounds. Info at StocktonDirtTrack.com. For the first time ever, the King of the Wing Super Sprint Car Series invades the Stockton 99 Speedway on Saturday, August 8th. Front gate opens at 4 p.m., racing at 6 p.m. Don't miss the debut of the blazing fast Wing Pavement Sprint Series. Info at StockTon99.com.
Catch the Checkered Flag Show every Tuesday night at 7, 9 Central on the GoLivestream.tv network. Hosted by myself, Ace Naylor.
See our website at checkerflagshow.com.
Ducks down, has a good run through 1 and 2, opens up on Cody Finley, into turn 3, and off of turn 4, your winner is Shayna Sylvia!
Because she her and Scotty Newcomb got into each other coming off turn 4, and she flipped her off, and she was panicky and hyperventilating, and she's doing the same thing again. Congratulations, sweetheart. Very proud of you. And I got to tell you, as a promoter, when you see the lights come on, and the lights have come on in the last few weeks, we've had this conversation. She's done well at Calistoga, 5th last week in the Hunt Series race. You're a winner of the Pit Stop USA Shootout Round 2. Shayna Sylvia, tell us about your night.
I don't know, it's been awesome. This car's great. I got my whole crew here, my boyfriend, my dad, my aunt, uncle, my mom here to see my first win in Beckford. Holy crap! Hey, look at that! I'm just really happy. I love this track. We got a great time.
Elbows up, old school pedal for like the first time in a year and a half we've had fall out, for God's sakes. And track's pumping. We can see you fighting it. Jimmy Christian gave you a beep, 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 and thing turned 4, didn't work out for him. You're here. Who you got to thank?
Everyone. My whole crew, you, everyone at Pit Stop, everyone at Petaluma, everybody. All you guys too. You guys are awesome.
I'm smelling like a t-shirt revenue business here for Shayna Sylvia Fan Club. Is that what you're feeling too?
I hope so.
All right, the winner of round 2, Pit Stop USA Shootout at Petaluma Speedway, Shayna Sylvia.
All right, folks, we are back. We've got on the line right now. I'm so excited to have her on the line. We've had her on before, but we're talking to Shayna Sylvia, just coming off of a win over at Petaluma Speedway. And get this, folks, the first ever female to win in a spec sprint. So she broke a lot of barriers and set some pretty high stakes this past weekend. How are you?
I'm doing really good, actually. I'm great.
Yeah, I know. Before we were on air, you were telling us how you're on cloud 9, and I could totally understand that. So let's talk about this race. You qualified third out of 14 cars, so that came out, and you started third, and finished that in the heat race. Then you started on the pole. So how did that happen? How did you get on the pole?
So they do where the top 4 or 5 cars, I believe, out of your heat race go, and you pick a number out of a little basket deal. And it was super funny because I went and put my hand in there and I grabbed 2 numbers, and I'm like, are you going to pick the first one you grabbed or the second one? I was like, right. We're going to go with the first one. And I pulled out the number 1. So definitely got really lucky there. So I started on the pole, and it was awesome. Right,
and then of course you won. You've had quite a long road, leading up to this with your car and everything, but you definitely pulled it off. Let's talk about the last 5 laps, and we have a video on how the last 5 laps was for you, and going into the win.
I mean, it took a long time. I felt like I've never seen so many white flags in my life, because we would get the white flag, and then something would happen, and then we'd have a yellow, and then going back into restart. So
you're like, I just want this to be over.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, just call it. I'm over it. But no, I was just definitely trying to keep myself calm and making sure that I was hitting my marks every lap. So, it ended up working out for us. So I'm really stoked.
Yeah, and then you have a couple other people there. There's a picture of you, and you have a couple other people there. You have Cody Fendley and Nick DiCarlo. So they were 2 and 3 there, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh. Well, that's exciting, and we're so proud of you. Do you have anybody you'd like to give a shout out and thanks to, and anything like that?
I just got to give a huge thanks to my sponsors, West Builders, Accessories Plus, all the guys at Pit Stop in Petaluma for giving us a good stock, and my dad, my mom, Sue Dodd, Mikey, my Uncle Ross, my Aunt Kathy, my boyfriend Jeff, everybody. Everyone that makes it happen and that keeps on pushing for me.
Yeah,
in a long time, so I'm glad we just finally made it happen.
Yeah, that's exciting, and it was so awesome to see you take that win. Tell us about the video. You got a chance to take an interview with. How was that for you? Was that a little nerve-wracking?
Yeah, it was definitely a little weird. Plus, I couldn't get my helmet off, so it took me a while. I was definitely just trying to catch my breath out there. So we'll work on that for next time.
Right. Hey, you know what though? You got some good skills. You got some good racing skills, good interview skills here on the show. You're definitely on your way, girl. Thank you so much for calling in. We have to let you go, and we got to do our outro. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, thank you so much. All right.
Bye. See ya.
All right, Shayna Sylvia. Good job, girl. Shayna Sylvia taking the win. She set some high stakes for the other women out there to race. Set some barriers, didn't she? So we're definitely going to be watching her. Well, I want to thank everybody, all our guests for calling in. Our Golden State WAC King of the West, Gary Thomas, thank you for calling in. Troy Hennig, great talk with Troy. And our Texas Outlaw Kart Appearance Program, John Paul Iness, thank you so much for having him on. The kid's definitely on his way with his wins. Be sure to watch us. GoLivestream.tv, channels/Rampage TV Home. That's GoLivestream.tv. And by the way, Real Fast TV will be going to mobile in 2016. We're really excited about that. To find out who we have on next week, go to our website, our Facebook at the Checkered Flag Show. Just the Checkered Flag Show on our like page. Go to our group page, the Checkered Flag group page. Also, we are on Twitter at Checkered Flag 1. That's Twitter, Checkered Flag 1, for all your updated information to see who we have on next week in the upcoming weeks. Folks, thank you so much, all our race fans and everybody, for calling in, and I'm out.
Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. A beast of machine, hitting on you with speed, running gasoline lean. Give me all what I need, indeed. Pedal to the metals, the life that I dream. Can't settle for tea, kettle when I can roast it like coffee beans. My chances splitting the seams, pumping supreme. A rough race leaves enough traceless, smoking with steam. Spinning wheels, hitting deals with high velocity. Break the rules of physics to win, become an odyssey. Might be second place, but I'm riding behind. Set the draft, fly by, feel the G-force, adjust, get the better lap. My tires may be bold, riding a weather track, but I've left my checker pass so I can reach the checkered flag.